Hi, artists. So I wanted to jump in via video on this particular topic of selling. I know that this month we're in the monthly topic of selling, and I've got a lot to say on the subject. I actually spent a large percent of my career prior to being an artist as a sales rep with a medical supply company named Bausch& Lomb. And I sold contact lenses to doctors' offices. I would go in, I would work with the staff, and I would work with the doctors and really try and develop a plan for them to fit our brand of contact lenses. And it was a very competitive marketplace, and I learned a lot over my time there. And when I switched into being an actual professional artist, I was astounded at how much more difficult it was to sell my art and sell my own self when I was in front of clients. And I think that there's so much around that we can talk about. But ultimately, I had to learn what our art actually does, and I had to really understand that art creates meaning for people and how to provide that sense to those that I was talking to. Whereas in my previous role as a rep for contact lenses, it was pretty easy to paint the results for my clients when I was actually helping improve somebody's vision. And that was a very tangible result versus artwork, which is so personal. It's essentially us putting our souls into the world and then having to go and say, hey, do you like me? Do you like what I have to say? Do you understand the vision that I have? And do you really connect to who I am as an individual? And the stakes are so much higher there because when they say yes, boy, does that feel amazing. And you really feel connected and you really feel understood and belonged. But when they say no, or when they walk away, how difficult that can feel and how personal we can take that. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today and just get the conversation started around that. But I also wanted to open up a topic around selling that triggered for me when I was listening to a podcast by a woman named Stacey Bayman, who is not in the art industry. She is actually a life coach, and she was talking about her selling philosophies, and she has three, and they were so different than what I'd ever experienced before. And as I thought more about them, I thought, wow, this is so on point. And organically, I adopted a lot of what she had to say over the years. And she was just, the way she described them, it really was so interesting to me. And I wanted to share a little bit about that and how I've applied my own selling philosophy over the last 8 years. So Stacey Bayman boiled her selling philosophy down into three things. One is she underprices, two, she overpromises, and three, she overdelivers. And it was totally against the grain for me for so long, especially around the subject of overpricing or underpricing, because for so long I equated underpricing as undervaluing myself, and really having that be a direct correlation to how I viewed myself and my worthiness. And that couldn't be more far from the truth, because you and I are all worthy. We were born worthy. You and I both deserve all of the things that are available to us and all of the things in the world. So when we assign a dollar value, i.e. through pricing, to define our worth, we're then saying that we're not all worthy. We're saying, I am only worthy now because I've assigned a dollar value to what I perceive as being my self-worth. I want you to really hear this, because where we price our work is all about the value we've created for it within our business, and not about how we feel about ourselves and our worth. So really taking a look at where your current pricing strategy is today, why you've created that, and what results you're getting from that. So when I first started selling my work in 2012, I was sort of just trying to get a feel for where I wanted to put it. So I started, I think I just told you in a past training that my very first piece that I sold was a 24 by 30, and I sold it for $400. And I was over the moon excited about getting $400 for a painting. And that was back when I think that proved worth to me. So I'm an artist because I sold this. Again, I think everybody has been there, but again, looking back on that, I see how wrong I was in equating those together. But in the beginning, I put my pricing pretty low, and the result of that was a high demand because people wanted to come in and buy my art in that price point. So in the beginning years, I continued to make art and I continued to sell art below where my value was, which created a high demand, which then provided me with a sense of excitement. I was always moving and shaking, trying to get artwork done to the point where I couldn't keep up at some time. And sometimes, so I was like I was becoming, I was like booking out. I had my commissions full. I was selling a lot. So then I started creeping my pricing up slowly but surely. And as my pricing began to creep up, I continued to have more people because I was meeting more people, and more people were learning about me, and I was getting better in what I was doing. So I was growing in my skills as well. And we continued to sell more, and we continued to sell more, and I continued to grow my pricing, getting a little bit higher and a little bit higher. I really made a solid intentional commitment to people that because I priced per square inch, I started at $1 per square inch. I made the commitment to people that when they purchased from me, they could feel good knowing their investment was secure because I was not going to lower my pricing. So if they purchased a piece from me this year for a fixed amount of money, and they came back and saw me next year, they would not see a price on a piece that was similar in size at lower than what they paid for it. And that gave me a sense of definition around the idea of pricing. And it also made it really easy for me to stand in front of somebody who asked me what a price was. And I said, well, this is how much it is, because I had a rhyme and a reason for it. Again, I was unconsciously, I think that's a hard word for me, unconsciously separating my worth from my price, not even knowing at the time that's what I was doing. I was simply saying, this is what has been developed, this is what has been defined based on how many people are buying at this, and I feel good about that. And so I don't have trouble telling people how much I charge for my art. I pretty much never have had trouble doing that. Now going forward, my price now per square inch is around $4 per square inch for my original pieces. And I'm still, while I've priced myself out of the market from a lot of people that I was working with in the beginning, I still have a very secure business, especially in the commission world. So I have many people that are currently in line for a commission from me. And I've developed that over time. And there's more to it than just the supply and demand and pricing, of course. We'll talk more about that. A lot of that, as Stacy had said in the beginning, what I alluded to, there's a whole piece of it, of over-promising and over-delivering, which helps create that demand. And we'll talk about that in a future video, but I think it really is worthwhile for you to sit back and just ask yourself the question of, where is my price now? Why am I pricing my work this way? what kind of demand is there for my art? And is this the right place for me to be with my pricing in order for me to sell my work? And just to keep in mind that when you're thinking about selling, when you're thinking about the sales end, continuing to keep in your mind that the sale is not about what you're getting. The sale is about the value you're providing your clients and your collectors. So art has, as we've just said a million times, the ability to create meaning for people. And that is a very, very important thing. And you can look at it as maybe helping them with their mental health, giving them hope, giving them inspiration, giving them love in a way that actual medical provisions can provide people. So going back to like my eye health days with the contact lenses, giving people vision so that they can see better, so they can see their family better, so they can, you know, wake up in the morning and see their kids' faces, so they can go on hiking trips and experience what vistas look like, all because of the contact lenses that we're providing them. Same thing with our artwork. We're providing people with the ability to create meaning for themselves so that they feel better, so that they can go out into the world with thoughts that they might not have had without our work. So as we're in the mix and we're doing these getting in front of customers and talking about our work, if we continue to do so with the idea of helping people live better lives and enjoy life better and get more out of life itself, versus what we get in exchange for the sale, which is energy or money, it will put us in a better position to put ourselves out there and do that more often. Because it's so important. That's what we're here for. And people deserve to have your work, and we deserve to live the lives that we want to as a result of us providing value for other people. So I'm going to leave that with you today. I would love for you to reply with your thoughts. And I would love to hear, especially how you feel you're currently pricing your work. Is it working for you? Is it not working for you? And how do you want to move forward? So, all right. Thanks so much.